except that one.
Recently, the director of Independence Day 3 gave us a straightforward update on whether Will Smith might return. So let's dive into what we know about the future of the movie and if it's actually happening. Roland Emmerich, the director of Independence Day franchise, recently discussed the possibility of a third movie and whether Will Smith might be involved. The original Independence Day, released in 1996, was a massive success, featuring Smith as Captain Stephen Hiller leading Earth's defense against an alien invasion. Emmerich came back to direct Independence Day Resurgence in 2016, which was not well received and saw Hiller's character killed off after Smith reportedly dropped out just 2 weeks before filming. Since then, there's been no movement on a third film. In a recent chat with The Playlist, Emmerich was asked about the chance of reuniting with Smith for a new installment. He expressed skepticism, citing Hiller's death in the second movie and complications with the franchise's rights, now held by Disney. Here's what Emmerich had to say. "Well, yeah, I've been like, Will's character died in number 2, but also Disney now has the decision to make it, which is even worse, because they never ever did my deal." This doesn't mean Emmerich's giving up on making another Independence Day film. In fact, the latest buzz about Independence Day 3 surfaced in 2023, when Emmerich expressed interest in developing the movie as a Disney Plus streaming series. It's a bit surprising, given that the original Independence Day and its sequel were all about big screen spectacle with tons of destruction and CGI. A TV adaptation might not pack the same punch, but Emmerich still has grand plans. He mentioned, "They have now a streaming service and they need products. I would love to do maybe a third one or a TV show continuing the story. When we did Independence Day Resurgence, we already had also the third part already. This means we might see Independence Day 3, but it probably won't feature Will Smith." With his character having been written off in Resurgence and the franchise's rights situation now under Disney, bringing Smith back could be tricky. Emmerich's focus seems to be on exploring new directions for the series, whether as a streaming series or a movie without the original star. So while a third installment could be on the horizon, it's unlikely to include Smith's Captain Stephen Hiller. That said, the original Independence Day was a huge blockbuster of the 1990s. At the time, Will Smith was on the rise as a major movie star, and the film also boasted standout performances from Jeff Goldblum and Bill Pullman. The movie's visual effects were groundbreaking, and the scene of the White House getting destroyed has become one of the most iconic moments in film history. However, while Emmerich returned to direct and Goldblum came back for Independence Day Resurgence, the sequel was a major letdown. Released 20 years after the original, it was panned by critics, holding only a 29% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, with an audience score just slightly higher at 30%. In comparison, the first film had scores of 68 and 75% respectively. Although the sequel had some impressive visuals, it struggled with the same issue as the original, a lack of character depth and emotional engagement. While it didn't completely flop at the box office, it earned significantly less than its predecessor, $389.7 million, versus the original's $817.4 million. Given the mixed reception and the significant drop in earnings, it might be best if Independence Day 3 doesn't move forward. When Roland Emmerich dropped the news about a potential Independence Day 3, he also shared some intriguing ideas for the franchise. Emmerich mentioned, "When we did Independence Day Resurgence, we already had a third part planned." He revealed that the story for the third film would connect more closely to the original movie than the sequel. The plot would involve refugees living on a distant planet, where aliens discover them and set out to invade. These refugees are humans, but in different forms, and the story would focus on their struggle to survive. Emmerich expressed his enthusiasm for the project, saying, "It doesn't matter who makes it, but I feel very passionate about it because this movie single-handedly gave me total freedom. I have had a final cut since then. That's why both Stargate and Independence Day are seminal movies for me. They shaped everything I've done since." He also explained why the sequel took place so long after the original. It's due to the long travel times through wormholes. Emmerich envisioned the sequel as a story about the next generation fighting battles their fathers fought, with Jeff Goldblum's character returning as an older and wiser man. Initially, Emmerich wanted Independence Day Resurgence to be the first part of a two-part sequel, but the film's poor box office and critical reception stopped that from happening. Now, Emmerich feels that a streaming service like Disney Plus could offer the perfect platform for his envisioned Independence Day 3. In terms of how Resurgence set up Independence Day 3, it was meant to kick off a larger intergalactic saga. Resurgence introduced a bigger, more dangerous invasion from the Harvesters, who were aided by an extraterrestrial AI called the Sphere. This AI acted as a mediator between humanity and a coalition of alien species that had previously fallen to the Harvesters. The survivors from these earlier invasions wanted to team up with humanity to fight back. The plan for Independence Day 3 was to continue this expanded story, with humanity joining forces with these new alien allies to take the battle to the Harvesters' homeworld. This would have seen the Earth's space defense, including characters like Jake Morrison, Dylan Hiller, Patricia Whitmore, and Dr. David Levinson, team up with the Coalition to fight on an intergalactic scale. This would have not only driven the plot of the third film, but also set the stage for future installments in the franchise. Even though Independence Day 3 might not be hitting theaters anytime soon, Roland Emmerich is still eager to see it made, especially for Disney+. In a recent interview, he shared how a streaming release could perfectly align with Disney+'s need for fresh content, while also fulfilling his own passion for continuing the franchise. Given Disney's success in the streaming space, this could be a promising avenue for the third installment. Since Disney acquired 20th Century Fox in 2019, they now hold the film rights to Independence Day. With Resurgence not performing well at the box office, a theatrical release for the sequel might not attract the same interest. However, streaming platforms have become major players in reviving and rebooting franchises, and a Disney Plus release could give Independence Day 3 the boost it needs to regain its appeal. Emmerich's enthusiasm and vision for the film could make it a standout on the streaming service, and potentially even improve upon the last installment. Emmerich's vision for Independence Day 3 involves expanding the franchise into new territories, exploring intergalactic conflicts, and deepening the storylines established in Resurgence. His plan includes taking humanity's fight against the Harvesters to their home world, which would not only extend the narrative, but also set up potential future installments. By leveraging Disney Plus's platform, Emmerich hopes to bypass the constraints of theatrical performance and focus on delivering a compelling story that resonates with viewers. So while the film's future remains uncertain, there's hope that Independence Day 3 could still rise from the ashes of its predecessors and offer a thrilling new chapter in the franchise's story. Stay tuned for updates as Emmerich and Disney Plus work towards making this ambitious vision a reality. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay in the loop. If you have any thoughts on this video, feel free to drop them in the comments too.